Yo, good.
Thank you. Yep. Happy Friday, everyone.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday.
Exactly. I was just
Yeah.
thinking that.
Yeah, I actually just woke up from a nap. It's pretty good.
You lucky.
It's nice being on. Yeah, it's nice being on leave.
Yeah. Good for you. Yeah. I'm about to. After this, I'm gonna ski-daddle home and do the same thing. I woke up at 2 a.m, just not on bad thinking, just like stoked about Kaspa and thinking about other business and just I'm not one of those panic attack people, but my mind when it's excited and there's multiple things going on, it'll just wake up. My brain will be like, "Hey, man, check this out," you know,
Oh yeah.
and then
Oh yeah. By the
yeah,
million things we needed.
yeah, exactly. Like, hey, are you sleeping? Well, anyway, check this out. What do you think if? Yeah, and then I start twisting and thinking. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. Actually, a Shy was just on the other day. Couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, what time is it over there? He's like, oh, it's 4 a.m. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I think he
we got
has.
a few hours
He
left.
he might have chronic can't sleepitis. I think maybe.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, or intermittent can't sleep itis. Yeah, so that's a rough one. Yeah, there's people walking around on the street that have it too, but it might be chemically induced,
Hmm.
like meth zombies. That's what I'm talking about. I'm being silly.
Meth zombies.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah. So yeah,
Well,
man,
yeah, we just hit 5. You ready to get this on the
I am.
on the? Okay. So everybody, this is going to be our second Twitter space for the Kaspa community. Um, I'm here with Wolfie. He's our business developer with Kaspa. Um, he's my guest today. We're going to be talking a bunch about community and the crowdfund and how the crowdfunds worked and how we made things happen. So it's going to be very community focused, very crowdfund focused. I'm Bubblegum Lightning, also known as Nate. I do like the Medium posts, some little bit of social media stuff, and just recently became a mod. So you'll see me be a rookie mod out there. Um, so yeah, we're gonna do the first half of this is just gonna be kind of me and Wolfie talking about an overview and doing updates, and then the second half of this we're just gonna open up the questions until we hit an hour or time crunch or whatever. We run out of questions, however it flows.
Perfect.
So, um, for the first question, I'm gonna ask about the Caspa crowdfund that just happened with the top 10 exchange.
Yep.
So we have this crowdfund going on. So it's the top 10 exchange on CoinMarketCap.
Uh huh.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process of this and how did the participation work?
Yeah, so there's nothing written in stone. I mean, some things in life are like have been going on for like 300 years. Like lawyers have their way, they act and interact, and there's standard language and standard everything, and the procedures and things in place have been going on for decades and decades and decades, and like religions have that, and like birthdays and weddings have it, but like crypto is so new, and like the idea of serious business being a crypto business, like a larger exchange, that's kind of pretty new also. I mean, it was only 10 years ago that Mount Gox, I don't know if everyone ever heard of that, but it was like the first big Bitcoin like catastrophe, outside
Oh
entity
yeah.
incident, and like, for example, just to show the how different it's come in the last 10 years, Mount Gox stand for Magic the Gathering Online. So it was these two dipshits, and they started a fairy game card trading thing online, and it failed. So then when they got the idea of a Bitcoin exchange, they were such cheap asses, they didn't even pay fucking $20 to get it. Like BitcoinTradingWorld.com. They're like, let's just use Mount Gox. Like, I mean, come on. So that's how it used to be. That was the Wild West days. Now you have like corporate jets, and you have lawyers on staff and everything. So once you start getting towards the top, even 50 of exchanges that you'll see on there, to varying degrees, or at least top 30 or 20. They start having, contracts and different negotiations and different. It's a process. It's not really standardized. They each do it a bit of a different way, or an extremely different way. But it's just a path you walk down with them, and you take it one step at a time. And sometimes there's just differences in understanding or the meaning of words, or what I find a lot overall is how unbelievably used to these business platforms are to token world. Like, they're like, yeah, like contract, like, on Telegram main chat, like every like hour or two, some kid will pop in that heard of Kaspa, and it'll be like, contract question mark, and he thinks it's a token, and the exchanges think the same thing. They're like, contract, like, and the the actual business contract to engage with them contains token contract and audit and everything. We're like, none of that has anything to do with us. You know what I mean? So yeah. So basically, you arrive at a total price, and some outside parties may kick in some that's not mentioned, or sometimes not. And then there's the community portion, which of course we have to mention. And then we see if we get it. Somebody was complaining a couple weeks ago in like Discord, like voting exchange proposal. I mean, we have so many channels in there. I can't remember the exact name of that channel, but they were like, it's not decentralized because we're not voting if we should raise funds for an exchange. And I was basically like, well, we're voting with money, so it's like, put your money where your mouth is. If you don't think it's a good idea, then don't put any money in. If you think it's a good idea, put in 10 grand. That's what I did.
Yeah.
So,
and to add to that, anybody can add an exchange. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. We don't want to really limit anybody to not do it. So if, like, let's say I'm seeing Blake right now. If Blake wanted to go and add an exchange, and he did all the legwork, and he says, "Hey, we need to raise this much money to get this exchange," he should be free to do so.
Yeah, of course, and he totally can. Yeah. Anyone can. They don't even have to tell us. They can pay, and it can be a surprise. Like, they could say, "This is confidential. I'm not telling you who I am. How much to list this coin, and here's the funds, and hook it up. Here's the GitHub. Yeah, you guys are smart. You can do it.
Yeah, so absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, like, that's kind of the nature of the piece. So if anybody wants to list, I mean, there's no real concept. We want adoption for everything. So everybody, it's the more we're hitting our mission and end goal.
Are you roaming a bit by chance? Your sound just got a little wonky.
No, actually. On the desktop. Okay. How's the sound now? Any better or no?
Yeah, you're fine now. Yep. Cool. So
okay, so with the crowdfund, how did they participate? How did the users participate for everybody that's not familiar with like Telegram and Discord?
Yeah, sure. So in the bigger crowdfunds that we've had so far, there've been two, and they've been development, like major upgrade funds, which were larger than what we just completed. And those ones are done a little different in the aspect that there's a special developer fund wallet that we create, and it's a multi-signature wallet. So like 6 people around the world. I'm one of them, and other guys, other people that you've seen around are other multi-signature holders. And then it's like a 3 of 6. So it takes any 3 of the 6 people that have the key to sign a transaction for the incremental payouts to developers as the milestones are reached. So that's the like hardcore way when we're talking like, new Lambo / house type of money. In the case of what we just accomplished this week, it wasn't such a critical, crazy amount. I mean, it's still a lot of money, and to a lot of people, it's a fortune. But in the arena that we're dealing with, with these exchanges, it's not too crazy. $100,000 in total isn't a crazy number for us, relatively speaking. So we didn't have a multi-sig wallet or anything. Just Avi. he made a Kaspa wallet, which that address was posted, and then he made a Trust wallet that has all the USDT on different chains capabilities, and then he shared the keys with me, so I would be a redundant. I have eyes on it, and I have control of those both also. So that was cool enough for this round, and then we just take. He created that poolio.io, poolio.io, crowd
Yeah, that's
fundraiser
I see.
thing.
Cool.
Yeah, and then so we announced that what our goal is, how much of this coin, how much USDT, and how much Kaspa, and then we give the addresses, and anybody who's interested in contributing, we got dozens and dozens and probably hundreds of contributions, so and it's just whatever you feel comfortable with donating. More people gave zero. Zero was the most popular number, by the way.
Yeah.
But like some people gave 100 Kaspa, which is great. That might be a lot to them. They may mine, and it may take them a month to get 100 coins. They can be from a much simpler area, and that's a lot to them. And they work really hard to get 100 coins, and they really love the project. So it's like, I think there's a story from the Bible. I mean, I haven't really heard too much from the Bible for a long time, but where the rich guy gives like $100, and then the starving lady gives like a penny, and like the Lord, or the karma or whatever of the lady who gave like everything she had was a penny, was a bigger deal than the guy who had $10 million, and he put $100 in the pot or whatever.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like the same thing, like there's people that love the project. I'm one of them. I know you're one of them. And we have people from all over the world. Some guys put in 5,000 Kaspa coins, and that's a big deal for them. And we really appreciate that. It's part of where we share a common goal and common interest, and we all work together and do what we can, and that's how we get things like this accomplished so fast.
Yeah, and I mean, percentages are percentages, really. So I mean, if like that one penny was 100% of her budget, that's like 100%. Not saying that I
Sure,
recommend. I always donate what you feel comfortable with and what you can, donate. Don't use
afford.
anything
Sure,
like normal, the non-financial advice stuff. But yeah, so I mean,
exactly.
it's just percentage of the portfolio. It could be even more significant, being that it is a small amount and you put in a bigger. But
Chunk. Yeah,
let's move into this next one here. So now that we hit this crowdfund, we put out today that we had 100%. It's completely funded. Why does Caspa need another exchange, and why would Caspa users want to participate? The ones that
sure.
did, why would they want
So, I mean, crypto is really great because a lot of reasons, but because it's global, it's all over the place. So, some exchanges are just more popular in certain parts of the world. That's one definitely big deal. Then
to?
some of the big boy, or probably all of the big boys, have millions of customers. So, just like we appeared on F2 Pool yesterday, so we're on their homepage still. So when anybody that's already one of the 500,000 customers of F2 Pool goes to F2 Pool, they see a big giant CAS banner, which is cool. And so there's people that never heard of us that are going to see it because of F2 Pool. So similarly, when we appear on our next big exchange, then people that never heard of us that just sign in or open the app or whatever are going to see like, hey, wow, there's this new thing, looks kind of interesting, or maybe it's interesting, I should take a look. And then that gives us the ability to attract more people and let them learn about our fantastic breakthrough technology. That's another reason. And then a third reason is so there's some other cool platforms. There's like travel platforms. There's like online shopping platforms, and there's like change platforms like swapping from like Litecoin to Ethereum or USDT to Bitcoin. And in order to participate in those type of things, generally speaking, one of the prerequisites seems to frequently be that you're on a bigger exchange that has like an off ramp. So some of those things will either swap right on the bigger exchange, or sometimes they just go straight to USD and cash out. Like I know for a fact, like Travala, I spoke to them like last Thanksgiving or something, like November, but they told me they don't like play the crypto game or the trading or the swap and percentages. They make 100% of their revenue just selling plane tickets and hotel rooms. So like when you pay for for a vacation on Travala, like it doesn't matter what coin you pay with. They're not keeping any, and it's getting going straight to Binance and dumping for US dollar. And at the end of the day, they pull all the US dollars out. It's just a regular travel exchange that has this little gimmick of being able to take coins, but really, in the end of the day, they take money, and that's what they do, which is fine.
Mm.
But yeah, so being on a larger exchange or another large exchange, I mean, MEXC is it's decent size. You know, it can get a bad rap a little bit once in a while, but they're growing and they're doing a pretty good job. But yeah, being on another one will give us another like off ramp for to be able to link in with additional genres of crypto platform.
Yeah, and like now that we're getting into these top tier exchanges, I feel at least that once we do, we kind of breach that like bubble or that little barrier to the top exchanges, and it makes us look even more attractive. Like it's kind of given us street cred and trust.
I would
That's
say that's probably true.
yeah, that we look like a legit solid network, and man, these guys are serious. Maybe we want to look at Caspa.
Agree. Yeah, and keeping the momentum is really important. You got to continue to appear on new things, new developments on the inside, and new developments on the outside. You know, everything
Oh
matches up
yeah,
nicely, and we're making progress. You know, so that's great.
cool. Okay, so I'm sure this is going to be like a big audience question. Now that we have this funded, when list?
When list? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't even know. So, in a weird way, the best way to really think of it is like, we have the value is agreed upon, and we did our side of the bargain. Just pretend we voted that we're into it. Okay. Now that the vote is finalized, now we begin the process, the next step. So that includes integration and contract, stuff like not including the financial aspect of it, just like contract paperwork and things like that. So they have to dig in and get into our technical details, which they said shouldn't be too long. But yeah, it's still going to take a little while. It's not going to be like momentary. It's not like in the next
Yeah,
48
and
hours
I
or
mean,
anything.
I went in with the assumption like that, and I mentioned on Telegram, there's probably going to be like paperwork involved. They got to figure out our system and get integrated with how our coins and structure works, and then we
Sure.
also got to do like the whole moving the funds and timing of whatever.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
right. Yep.
and we already leveled off, right? I think we did. Like we moved Caspa to
Yeah, I think
USDT.
the USDT, of course, doesn't fluctuate, being a stable coin. But yeah, the Kaspa, I was offline. Everyone thought I was sleeping. I may have been twisting at the exact second, but it looks like in the the group that they kind of said like, okay, this is cool. Let's call it like done with the amount
Mhm.
that we had so far. So it wasn't like signed off or anything, but I think it looked like I don't think they didn't strike me as super nitpickers, if it's plus or minus a couple grand or whatever, or who knows, but they've been in the game, for years, obviously, and they know like Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin goes down, ETH goes up,
Yeah,
ETH goes down.
it's not the
Yeah,
first time they've
everybody.
seen it.
Yeah, it's not the first time. Like, no way, bro, it goes down
Yeah.
too. No way, forget about it, dog. We're going home. Like, no way. So yeah, it's not like that. I wouldn't worry about that part too
Cool. So I mean, that's pretty good, reassuring for a lot of people because I've been seeing that question quite a bit pop up off and on. So
much.
now that
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
like on the success of this crowdfund, we also had like another success story, and that's with DAG Knight. So DAG Knight was also kind of was crowdfunded this way, but it was for the
Yep.
devs. And Mike Sutton actually just put out an update about the DAG Knight paper update. And can you tell us a little bit about what changes happened with the paper, or any kind of I know there was like some notes and stuff. Did you have a chance to take a look at that?
Yeah, that stuff is on such a technical level. Like, I can look at the pictures and be like, okay, yeah, blocks, yeah, and this and that happens a little bit, and they talk to each other, or something happens, and that's all I can tell. So I
Yeah.
have no idea. I just know when those guys focus in on papers on an academic level, and I've never been an academic, so it's a realm of, it's an existence that I'm not familiar with because I never experienced it myself. But I think I could. What's more interesting, like DAGKnight's super cool, and they're working on it, and I believe they intend to get like do a real panel where they describe it, or they have a peer reviewed panel, and they show this paper, and computer science wizards from around the world go, wow, that's interesting. How'd you figure that one out? Or
Yeah,
something
right.
like that. So I think that's something that's in the works, and those, I don't get it really too much till it trickles down to something we could put our hands in, or
Yeah.
at least watch them doing it. So what I think is actually more on a level that people like everybody listening and me and you can understand is, did you see what Sutton tweeted today about Rust?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That was going to be another thing I was going to segue into.
Whoops.
Um,
Sorry.
no, that's perfect. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was huge today. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I looked at it, and from what he said it's on mainnet. So, what it looked like to me was that a compiled version that's not public yet, that he's running on a machine, is talking to the other nodes that are in the world right now, and it's synced successfully, and it's processing blocks in consensus alongside all of the legacy nodes that are running the network right now. So that's huge. That means basically it's fucking done, from what I can tell. I mean, it may need some more polish to be released in the wild and to be, vastly deployed. But I mean, that there's no missing modules. It's completely modular, meaning it's written in like components that are pieced together, and they interact with each other inside the single program. So there's no pieces missing. Like in a car, if you take out the distributor, or you take out the fuel injection system, or you take out the carburetor, or whatever, spark plugs, it's not going to run. And this thing is running. So there's no modules missing, is what it tells me from my non-developer brain. And that's super good progress. I mean, he's been working on it with Ori and a lot of other guys for months and months. So it's really, really, really close now.
Yeah, and there was some pretty big excitement shown around it. And actually, Shy put out a tweet to kind of just elaborate what it was, because Mike, and nobody checks Mike's tweet. Sometimes he'll put like a picture up, and he knows what he's looking at, but not everybody
Yeah.
does. It's
Yep.
like a quick blurb, and like it's a screenshot, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, there's a lot of numbers and like hash and stuff there. I don't know what this is.
Sure.
And then
Yep.
Shy took it, and he actually elaborated on it a little bit. And he said pretty much the implications: if all goes well, the first stable version of Rusty Kaspa will soon be released, and then we will start increasing block rates in testnet. That's right. The fastest POW gets faster.
Yep. Which we
So
love. Yeah. That's
yeah,
sick. I mean, we don't really talk about price, but our amazing, steam we're gathering overall in adoption and community and mining, miner hash rate, global hash rate, everything put together, volume is cranking up. That's great advancement and momentum. And then that, I mean, I don't even feel like any of that had anything to do with like Rust being pretty much done now. Like that's a whole nother great level, like rocket boosters, like that nobody's even thinking about right now, from what I can
Yep.
tell. You know, so and let me just tell you, like Rust. Okay, I don't know how many people know this, but Michael Sutton. I made a my own. I'm not an art guy, but I made my own little meme. I make them once in a while, little funny ones or whatever. I made one of a like a princess or a queen knighting a knight with the sword, and
Yes, I saw that.
yeah, I knight thee, Sir Sutton, youngest nephew of Satoshi. Now, to me, this is actually very accurate. Sutton is great because he has his master's degree in high performance computing, and what that means is he specializes in writing software that can fully harness the power of modern computing platforms like multi-core processors, really fast random access memory transactions, and the SSD hard drives and all of that stuff that make like right now computing happen really fast.
So he's
So
really into like maximizing the efficiency of hardware.
exactly, and he specializes in parallelism. Okay, so this will start to make more sense. So we have multiple parallel things going on in Kaspa. Right now, we have parallel blocks, but what Sutton introduced in Rust is parallel consensus in the same core, in the same CPU. So, like, for example, I have some Ryzen CPUs and some Intel fast ones at my office that have like 8 cores or 16 cores or more. Okay, so each core is like a little brain and it's allowed to do its own job at the same time. So in the old days, like 20 years ago, they only had one core. Everything was one core. So if there was like a line of instructions to process, like jobs to do for that brain, it could only do one at a time. So if you had a couple programs going at the same time, then one might wait to react because another program was using the brain right now. So it was like take a number at the bakery or something. So now
Mhm.
with modern architecture has like 8 brains or 16 brains. So parallelism in Rust is going to allow a consensus, like validating blocks, like saying, okay, this block's a real one. The transactions in this block, I agree, these really happen, and they get to be considered as legit. Um, that's a job right now that happens only in one brain at a time, even in every other coin and also in our Casper right now. But in Rust, inside one computer that has more than one brain, it can do different blocks at the same time. That's parallelism. That's how that's part of what enables us to do such a high block rate, is that we can validate them inside a solitary machine. Multiple decent machines around the world can all agree on all these blocks flying by at a really fast rate because they can use multiple channels inside the CPU. So that's what Sutton's specialty is, parallelism. So that's why this is a big deal. One
Wow,
of the reasons why it's a big deal.
that's actually pretty wild. So I remember when like the multi cores first came out, like back in the day when I was like playing video games on the computer or whatever. I remember hitting some games where when multiple cores came out, they weren't like optimized for it. So even though you had a multi-core CPU, it was like only using one core of that CPU.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it wasn't reaching out. That is wild. That
Yeah, and it was a big deal if it could use both cores at the same time, right? I remember that. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and not only games, like various programs. Like, is it multi-threading? Is it multi? Yeah. So Sutton is an expert in that, and he's written Rust to include that capability for consensus. So now we have parallel blocks happening, and then in consensus side, we have parallel blocks being validated uh, across different machines and inside the same machine. So different machines can do the same block and also agree that it's a good block. And then inside one machine can do 3 at a time, 8 at a time, 4 at a time, 2 at a time.
Somebody should go ahead and put that mind blown emoji for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because wow,
That's a
that's
most.
wild.
I don't think too many people realize that yet. That's a world first. Nobody else that I've ever heard of can do that trick. I mean,
Dude,
nobody else has.
constantly doing
Nope.
world first. This is
It
such an
is.
amazing
Yeah,
project.
it really is. I mean, nobody has blocks fast enough to need to do that though either.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, like if you're doing, I mean, some of those, I don't know if it's like Aptos or what Sui or somebody has like 0.6 second blocks, but I think there's just like 20 servers around the world or 80 or 40 servers that all just, they agree like, yeah, we're all in the club. We think it's cool. Okay, bro. Next. Okay. Yeah, it's cool. You know what I mean? So it's just like Netflix. Like how long does it take Netflix to validate your password when you sign on? Like 2 seconds, 0.6 seconds, whatever. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's just servers agreeing, like, okay, yeah, like, so it's a totally different game. But doing it in the wild, loose in the jungle, anybody in the world can play with the hash rate and can mine, and it can go up, it can go down, and we do it in the wild, and it's still the best technology. So that's really something. That's an achievement.
Oh, that's super cool. So I'm gonna circle back to the DAG Knight thing.
Sure.
Only because we didn't really hit DAG Knight on our first Twitter space, I'd like to hit that now. It's the first parameterless protocol. What does being parameterless mean?
Yeah, so when things are just on paper so far, and I don't get to get my paws on it, I don't understand it as well. But I just realized this is a Sutton two thumbs up this analogy of mine. So like in the virus days, like 2 years ago or whatever, when there was the quarantine and you fly somewhere, like I'm in America, I go to Canada, I get off the plane, I have to go to a hotel room for a week. It doesn't matter if I'm sick. If I'm not sick, I go to a hotel room for a week. If I am sick, I go to the hotel room for a week. Doesn't matter. You just go just in case you're sick. So Bitcoin and Kaspa and Litecoin and any other coin you've ever heard of in your life has this built-in just in case waiting time, and it's programmed, hard programmed into the software. And just in case, like there's some attack, or just in case the internet in China is slow, or just in case there's something else going on with AT&T fiber in America, then they go, let's just wait this number of minutes, or with us it's still seconds, but I think ours is like 18 seconds or something right now. It waits just a little extra longer, just in case there's some type of a delay, with all of the nodes in the world hearing about the latest block that just came out. So DAG Knight is revolutionary for the reason that it assumes no wait. It says, okay, you're probably not sick, so let's let's just see if anything happens. We're going to have no wait, no quarantine time. We're just going to take it on the fly. We have sensing mechanisms to detect if there's a problem on the network. If we start feeling like something screwy is going on, we're going to start scaling in a temporary delay, and then we're going to continue to monitor. If it gets worse, we'll raise the time. If it goes away, we'll take the time away, and then go back to zero wait. And so that's a really big advancement. I mean, they worked on it for 3 years. It was Sutton's idea, and it was supervised by Jonathan. And there was a point in time where Sutton confided in me that he told me after, like, he had to take a break because he was super close, but there was like one little piece of the puzzle missing, and he was wondering, am I spinning wheels thinking about solving something which is mathematically impossible? Because they call it an impossibility. Like, it was supposed to be impossible. So they tried to solve something that was impossible, and then they got almost there, and then they noticed one little piece left that was like stuck, and then he had to take a break and work on something else. And I think he began working on Rust, probably like in the middle of the summer or something last summer. And then all of a sudden one day he had this revelation, and the
Just
missing
clicked.
piece. Yep. And then that was it, man.
Man,
And
that
it
must have
was
been such a major relief. That guy must have been jumping for joy. I've never had like a puzzle or anything that I was working on for years before I had like the reward of getting it finalized. That must
agree.
be a wild feeling.
Yeah, and I mean, even think of it like this: like, supposing you got like a 10,000 piece jigsaw puzzle, just to make a really simple analogy, right? like you go to a yard sale or something, and someone's got a puzzle for $2, and you go, you know what? What if it's raining all week, and I'm gonna play this with my family. So you get this puzzle, and you're thinking like all the most of the pieces are in the box. If there's a couple of missing, it's not the end of the world. You work on this thing for a couple months or a couple of years, and then it starts looking like the picture on the box, right? But in Sutton's case, and Jonathan, and with DAG Knight, like you don't even know if you get this box of puzzles, and you don't even know if there is a picture. Like you're putting
Yeah,
pieces together.
there is no pictures when you're
Yeah, there's
pretending
no
in your
picture.
head.
Yeah, you don't even know. Like, or it could be full of pieces from three different pictures, and you have no idea. So yeah, that's people that have that highly advanced thought plane of thought. Sometimes mathematicians and other people like that can almost go momentarily lose their mind a little, and they have to take a break.
All right.
So yeah. So fortunately, Sutton was wise enough to chill out and switch his thoughts to something else for a little while, and then the right
Go get
answer
a
came.
go get a
Yep.
puzzle with a picture.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, so let's see here. So Caspa had a different kind of a take on a crowdfund recently, and the way that it was community participation with pre-ordering. So we were pre-ordering hard wallets in order to get support and integration with OneKey and Tangem. How did that go, and what was the result of that?
So I wasn't completely involved in that, but I was around. I was in the rooms where the talks were going on. So in general, those were a little different than what we just did. What we've previously done with DAG Knight and Rust, and what we've just accomplished with the exchange crowdfund. So this was like a third party organized thing. So what really happened was these manufacturers said like, hey, we think you guys are pretty neat technology, and you have a lot of great community buzz, and everything looks like a good sign, but we'd like to just gauge that we'll really be able to recoup our development costs with a pre-sale pledge. Or I think one of them might have been just like a promise to buy. I think maybe OneKey, and then Tangem maybe had like a real order link, or maybe they both switched to just real order links. I'm not sure because I didn't look that deep, but they basically just wanted to, they probably have like $10,000 or $20,000 worth of developer time to integrate Caspa, because it is very different than anything that's come out before. So you have to have sharp developers, and they have to really pay attention for hours and hours to get us going at the moment. Rust is going to make it a little simpler. I can talk about that later, but for right now, it takes some work. So they wanted to just make sure they don't lose money. Like, yeah, we got all these people that think it's a great project, but they don't have any money and they're not buying anything. So if you add Caspa, nobody's going to use yours for keeping Caspa on. They wanted to just make sure that wasn't the case, which we know isn't the case, but they don't know us as well as we know us. So they had
Yeah,
to make sure.
they wouldn't want to put all these man hours in for something that nobody bought, or like they
No,
don't get support or they don't get traction on it. So they put all these man hours in, get us the support, and then nothing happened. So they just
exactly. Yeah.
wasted a bunch of money. So on their end, it's a lot of risk.
It is, and they are a business, and they're not in the
Yeah,
favor business. They're in the making money business. They make a nice product, and it helps people like us that want to keep our coins safe. But that's what they do for a day job. Their day job is making cool wallets. So they want to make sure they can sell some if they go through the expense of adding a new project like us.
yeah. And I just put an article out on this about how the community kind of banded together with this. This was very much like a community project. Like it was kind of pitched to the community. The community banded together. Everybody was running around trying to get pre-orders. They were promoting it. They were on Twitter. They were like self-promoting within Discord and Telegram. And really, we really just made this happen. Like
Sure.
it just happened. Like there was no question that these guys were gonna get wallets.
Agree. Yeah, from that aspect, now I see what you mean about community. We did help push it and make people aware of the opportunity to get something neat to keep their coins on. So yeah, for sure, we definitely had something to do with that.
Okay, and then I'm going to just do one last one. We talked about it yesterday in like the sound check, but I want to hit on it again because it's still really new. And then we'll start taking questions. So the F2 pool support has just went online, and they have a contest, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's a mining contest that they came up with. I guess this may be a popular thing with them overall, or with other mining pools also. So they create some excitement by having a contest. I think it's 20 days or 10 days. I'm not sure. I read it, but I forgot. But the largest hash rates that join and mine Kaspa on their pool will get a share of the coins.
Yeah, that was what 500,000 Kaspa.
That's right.
Yeah, half mile. Sweet. So, and that's in
Yeah.
proportion to their hash, I think, too. So, like, if like you had 15%, I think you get 15% of it, right? Or something
That
like
sounds
that.
right. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's reasonably laid out, I'm sure.
Sweet. So we can start taking questions now. So, guys, if you want to start asking for speaking roles, and before I do that, just a quick shout out to F2 Pool. Cryptex is another pool that just listed. Max Gore
Nice.
is another pool that just listed, and Max Gore
Very
actually was donating their fees, and Cryptex was the one that was donating. I think it was something like 250 gigahash.
Wow.
Something like that. Don't quote me on that. And then, of course, we had Tangem OneKey that integrated, and Crypto K actually just released today a new Explorer. Have you looked at that? You had a chance to
I
see
saw
that?
it's like .fyi or something.
Yeah,
I saw.
Cast.fyi.
Yeah, which is cool. That's neat. Yeah.
That's
That
super
was
cool.
super cool.
It's a pretty ambitious project just to like take on
It
and
is.
fake. So that was really neat to
Agree.
see.
Yeah, that's how you know you're following in the footsteps of giants like, the big boy projects like Bitcoin, etc. When people just do things for fun and for free and provide these great new platforms or use cases out of nowhere because they can tell that we have something special going on. That's when you know you're on a real deal project.
Yeah, I mean, the ambition sells it.
Agree.
So I got the first guy. It's Kola Puri Trader. I'm gonna approve him.
Sure.
Hey, you there? Hey, Colper, are you there?
Hey, hi.
Yoo-hoo. Hi.
Hi, yeah. So, just I want to say, first of all, thank you guys for arranging a AMA with Kaspa community. And really don't have a question right now. Just I want to add something to your point. So, first of all,
Sure.
guys, I am a miner. So, I am been mining Kaspa from since 2022. But
Great.
right now, what I have observed is the hash rate.
Ooh, you broke up there, man. Pretty bad. Still there?
Yoo-hoo. Hey.
I think we might have lost him.
He might have dropped something.
Yeah.
Maybe dropped the phone or the ear headset or something.
Maybe he took his shirt. Maybe he took his shirt off.
Yeah, that's my trick. Yeah, yeah. He's like, I want to do that trick. Yeah.
All right.
So, okay.
Do we have any other speakers? I have no requests up right now. I think I saw a question though in the comments. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Wait, did somebody just pop on? I'm vaguely seeing
maybe.
requested one. What does that mean?
That means they requested to speak. Let's grab them. Yep, we do have a speaker.
Maybe that's him coming back.
Oh, it's Blake.
Oh, Blake. Yeah.
Yeah, Blake was on last one.
Sure.
Hey, Blake, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks for
Hey,
thanks
Blake.
for letting me speak, and thanks for the write-up, by the way, so I can actually thank you in person instead of over text through Twitter.
Yeah, no problem, man.
So I just wanted
it was exciting.
I just wanted to give a shout out again and just provide any feedback for any miners out there that have any like questions or concerns or setting up rigs or any aspect of that. You guys can always shoot me a DM. I'm more than happy to help, and if I can't find the answer, I'll be searching with you to find the answer. But other than that, I do have a quick question based off of, I don't know if you've ever heard of, I think it's like a crypto payment processing system called Flexa. And it's Chipotle actually just partnered up with them, I think like a year and a half ago. And they list like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all on Ethereum's tokens. And you could pay for your food through Chipotle by using their coins. And the coins that I've seen on there, the tokens through Ethereum, they're trash tokens. Is it something to where
Sure.
Kaspa could eventually be listed on there and be like a player like Bitcoin and Ethereum to get broader exposure to regular type businesses like Chipotle, or would you want to just go like direct to the business to accept Kaspa?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah. So, first of all, spell the name of the processor. Was it Plexa with a P or F like flex?
F like flex.
Flexa.
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to check them out. But in any event, yeah. So there's always two ways to skin the cat. So you mentioned tokens. We have this really smart guy, which most of you have heard of already, who's working on something to enable us to have like our own Kaspa token, wrapped like a bridge to so that we can be an Ethereum or a smart chain token. This doesn't make more tokens and Kaspa. They don't coexist at the same time. It's just like wrapped Bitcoin. Like in order to make a wrapped Bitcoin one token, you have to lock up one Bitcoin. So it temporarily takes the physical coin, even though it's not really physical. It freezes it and keeps it out of circulation while the token exists. Once you want to cash out the token is destroyed, and then that frees up the coin. So some type of scenario like that. We had a vote for one also about a month ago for a different system proposed by one of our community developers, CAFNPX, which unfortunately didn't pass. But yeah, we're working on having something like that in the future, not like within a few weeks, but it would be a several months type of thing. But I'm sure we can get working on it this year. It is definitely important. So that would be the one way we can do it. The other way we can do it, it would be a little tricky, but as I mentioned at the beginning when one of the questions was like, why do we need to be on another exchange? This is an exact example of why. I'm sure that the company called Flexa doesn't keep coins and speculate, especially lesser coins. Like a company like that, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they keep like 2% of the Bitcoin they process or something, or Ethereum, but they don't keep it all and then pay Chipotle with their own cash because they think Bitcoin's great. They just turn it from one form into another and take a little percentage. I'm almost sure of that. So as we get on bigger exchanges, it's not out of the question to approach a company like a platform like Flexa and be like, hey, we're like the fastest coin in the world. You guys should add us. What's it going to take? And they may say like, oh, you need to be on Binance or Coinbase. And we go, all right, well, we're not this week, but we'll circle back when we are. And then we put that on the list. Like once we get on a super duper tippy top one like that, then we check back in and we let them know we're on there now. So whenever a stoner buys a burrito for $8, they can turn that Kaspa right into money, like ding, cha-ching, it turns into money. And Chipoodles gets their $7.95 and Flexa gets 5 cents and the exchange gets, 10 Kaspa for doing the transaction or whatever the hell it turns out to be. So yeah, it's totally possible, and there's two ways to do it.
Yeah, that's literally spot on. Like I'm just thinking the bigger picture of getting more exposure and more faces on it. And the reason why I brought it up is a long time ago I was messing around with some NFT, some GameFi thing, and I saw the token that they were providing for you towards this GameFi, and now I go on the web. I was just scrolling through, and I saw that GameFi type token being listed through them, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like,
Wow.
in shock seeing that when I know with Kaspa and all these bigger coins, it's like, what? You're on there really? To where if I play this GameFi game more, I could potentially just go to Chipotle and pay with that coin. Like, really?
Wow. That is pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Except World of Warcraft coin or gold next.
Yeah. Wow, gold. Yeah. That's pretty
All right.
neat.
Cool. All right. So I'm gonna move on to the next one, Blake. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a really good question.
Yep. Thanks, Blake, and have a great weekend.
No problem. You guys too. Thanks.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
You too.
Okay, so I have traded up or down coming in.
Okay.
Hey.
Hi there, guys. I was just wondering if you had, if you know, or can give us an indication of what exchange at the crowdfund you were talking to, or maybe give us a hint of maybe the top 3 you were talking to, or something like that.
Yeah, it's already been mentioned top 10, but that's about as specific as we can be at this time.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to know that. That's fine.
Sure.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. Cool, man.
mate.
No worries.
Cool, man. Yeah. Later. All right, next is C. Lud.
Oh, yeah, C. Yeah.
C.
We'll have to ask him.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah,
Nick.
how's it going, guys?
Good.
Is it Lud or
It's Lud. It's German. In Germany, it's Ludwig, but it's Ludwig here.
Ludwig
here in the
Yeah, neat. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, nice to talk to you guys. So I'm no technical expert, and I try to decipher, Yanni and Sutton as much as I possibly can. It seems like
Sure.
Jonathan was alluding to, and correct me if I'm wrong, like layering into Bitcoin or Ethereum and processing transactions, just like you have, layer 2s on Ethereum or STX right now with Bitcoin. Is there anything he's theorized like that?
So deciphering what Jonathan is mentions, it can be really tricky, and especially for people who haven't devoted their life to computer science and stuff like that, which I haven't. So I don't always know what he's talking about either. But I know in one interview, if I'm understanding you correctly, there was a time, it might have been like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, where he was doing an interview before even the mainnet of Kaspa was launched, and he was mentioning the possibility of Kaspa becoming a transaction sequencing layer for Ethereum. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And recently, I could have sworn it was a tweet or a response. He was talking about processing and settling Bitcoin on the network. I could be completely misconstruing it, but I think the theory is very interesting. Almost like it's acting as Lightning for Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone would be able to figure that one out, he would certainly be the right candidate. I know there was a thread where he was just talking about Lightning several days ago, but I didn't read anything about what you're talking about in there. But it's maybe I didn't read the whole thing, or maybe it was a different one. I haven't heard any super solid stuff about that. But with these type of things, it always starts in the theoretical realm, in the realm of theory, and then it goes to paper, and then if it's complicated, it becomes a proposal to implement, in software for a fee, a developer fee. So, if it is such a task, we have not heard that yet. So if it is what you're thinking it is, it's still in the very early stages of contemplation, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think he's just talking about probabilities or possibilities, but it's fascinating to think on how it can be a solution for Ethereum or Bitcoin's struggles.
Sure.
Thanks.
Neat, man. Yeah, thanks for checking in.
Okay, we got Colibri Miner again. See if he got back on.
Hey, buddy, you there?
Uh, Actually, earlier the time, actually, Twitter India was down a bit. So I actually had to disconnect from the AMA. So right now, is my voice
That's okay.
fine? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're doing a lot better.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. So just I have shifted from my mobile to desktop right now. I should the problem should be solved right now. So, guys, I want
Great.
just try to make a point right now is that the mining pools which are mining Kaspa right now, the hash rate concentration is only on Wooly Poly pool. So earlier the day I thought I should tweet on that, but instead of that I thought I should say something on that in AMA because directly it has more caliber than my tweet, so I will able to talk with more guys like you on that issue. So guys, what do you think? Because on only on one pool the Kaspa network hash rate is about 30-40% is concentrated on only one pool, and if you see other remaining pool they only have like uh, 20-30 terahash around. So I am mining on Hero Miners right now. So what is your stand on that?
So
Sure.
actually, I'm going to step in on this one real quick. I actually have an article coming out on this soon. We really encourage to distribute across all the pools because in any time like we talk about decentralization, whatever, we want to have the power evenly distributed and even solo mine. If you could solo mine, we encourage solo mining because the more we get this stuff distributed, the less that we rely on any one network. And it's not even just for decentralization. Let's say they have like a person with 30% of the network all of a sudden went down. That's kind of a shock to the network. And we don't like seeing that so much. So we do push towards the decentralization aspect and distributing across. But of course, this is all just organic, and miners are looking at ROI and stuff. So there's a couple different factors into that. But I'll let Wolfie take it from here.
Yeah, that's correct, and we appreciate your concern. It's been Wooly has been higher during last year, I believe, and we still have a fantastic distribution of solo miners, and in addition, like we mentioned earlier, we just listed yesterday on F2 Pool. F2 Pool is the oldest mining pool in China. I think they've been around for 10 years. They have a Bitcoin and Ethereum, or not Ethereum, ETHPOW and Litecoin, and a bunch of other altcoins. Not too many, pretty serious projects. ETH Classic. So we just got on there, and the uh, the guys from over there, the partners or whatever, they told me they have 500,000 customers that are miners, mining all the coins put together. So there's a lot of eyes that are going to see Kaspa for the first time over the next several days, and people will gravitate towards, some hash rate will move over there, and things will balance out some more. The more we become known and are adopted on, everything works together. Getting on a bigger exchange will get more eyes on us, and people will want to mine, and then they'll find the other pools, and then other pools will add us too, and it'll spread out. We're spreading out nicely right now, so it's nothing to worry about too much right now. But we appreciate your concern.
Yeah. So only last thing I like to add here. So right now in this AMA, guys like me, miners has also joined. So just a small request to all of those miners. So guys, please start spreading our hashtag to other pools. I used to mine only on Woolly Poly, but after seeing the hash rate on Woolly Poly, I immediately shifted my hash rate from Woolly Poly to Hero Miners. So it's my request, humble request to all of us, so that let's decentralize our hash rate and make our Kaspa proud of us. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thanks a
nice
lot.
man.
Yeah, he's
Good
stoked. I
shout.
love it. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So I had at least one question in comments. I don't think there's anybody here requesting to speak. So I mean, We could probably take one more question if you have the time.
Sure.
Yep. So if anybody wants to speak, now's your last chance. And then we had a few questions and comments I'm trying to keep up on.
Okay.
Somebody commented on the parameterless. That's good. Okay, what happens? This is from Defy Rye. What happens to the Kaspa network after 5 years once last block is mined?
Okay. Well, you'll have to ask in 32 years because that's when there's going to be 5 years left of blocks. How about that?
Yeah, that's a good answer. Also, Kaspa's designed around that once we start getting towards that, the transaction fees will start paying. The
Sure.
miners.
Just like
I'm
anything.
sure that's the question
yeah.
that's segueing into is it's the mining aspect.
Yeah. The transaction fees, I think, Patat, he did a quick calculation. I saw much in the morning on Telegram. And it was like, if Kaspa is $20 in 37 years when the last block is mined, then, and assume this many transactions an hour or something, like it would be like generating $1.2 million a day in transaction mining revenue or something.
Wow.
So, so who knows? But, that's really a long way off. And, with all the things they've invented already, I think within 37 years, they can figure out how to, if it's that widely adopted, to figure out how to assist with that or something, It's the least of my worries, for at least 36 and a half years. I'm not worrying too hard about it.
Yeah, easily something we could pivot into once we have our super quantum computers in space or whatever.
Yep, that's right.
Yep. All right, so I'm not seeing any more speakers, so we can call it here if you like. You have any last comments or anything?
Not really. No, we have super, great platforms that are coming out. We have great technology releases, and everything is really, compared to how the rest of the world seems to think everything's going to go in the next year or so. I think Kaspa is going to go really well because, because we're just making so much progress on every category that, it's very great to be involved with something that has such a promising future. From what's on the map, it sounds great to me. So I don't see how we could have a bad time in the next year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like we're just getting traction now, and we are ready to launch.
Exactly. I mean, we had just two maybe like tier 2 or tier 3. I don't know if they even have like media outlet news websites are ranked by tier, but like I would say like CoinDesk is like a tier 1, right? And then we had like two articles on us this week during the run up, and the volume cranking up, like two unsolicited articles came out. I forget who they were. One of them was kind of a heard of it one, and then the other one was maybe never heard of it, but it looked like it was still pretty legit.
One was the
Remember?
Daily Hodl?
Yeah, Daily Hodl. Yep, that was the one I think I heard of. They have like 40,000 Twitter followers, and then the other one was almost more like a stock finance thing, right? Maybe I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
But those are unsolicited. We didn't like email them and go, "Hey, you should write an article on us. How much does it cost?" Like they just did it out of nowhere. So that's an awesome sign. So we're just beginning to get that kind of traction. Sooner or later, like Altcoin Daily. Man. Yeah, CoinDesk will be popping off about us. Altcoin Daily will be doing YouTubes on us a couple times a week, and that's something to look forward to.
Okay, all right, man. I see you just hopped on again, Colibri, but I think we're gonna call it here. It's been an hour, and Wolfie's got to crash. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off, but it was great talking to you guys again. Glad we did this again, and we will be doing it again sometime in the future.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Cool. Everybody have a great weekend. Yeah, thanks for hosting Bubblegum, and you did a great job. And we'll catch up to you soon, all right?
Yeah, talk to you guys later. Thanks.
Sure. Take care. Bye-bye.